Hi, my name is Catherine Graves, and today I'm going to be presenting on my research project, a study of academic redshirting on START early literacy scores of kindergartners for EDS 709 with Dr. Amy Jones. First, I'm going to introduce my study. I knew the problem statement was that there was very limited research surrounding academic redshirting and its impact on early literacy development. So my purpose statement became I wanted to examine the impact of academic redshirting on early literacy development to see if there truly was an impact. My research question became, is there a statistically significant difference between academically redshirted kindergartners and their non-academically redshirted peers in foundational literacy development from the beginning of kindergarten to mid-year? Then my null hypothesis became, there is not a statistically significant difference between academically redshirted kindergartners and their non-academically redshirted peers in foundational literacy development from the beginning of kindergarten to mid-year. The significance of my study. Academic redshirting has long been a topic of controversy, but continues to be a popular subject of research. And in 2019, Fortner and Jenkins stated that delaying kindergarten could correspond with grade and educational benefits. So my study took a different approach from most research studies by reviewing START early literacy assessment scores of two randomized groups of Brooks Elementary kindergarten students to determine the impact academic redshirting had on early literacy development. This study could have implication for parents due to the impact of the decision that might be made as to retain or not, and there could also be future implications for educators, administrators, and policymakers due to the impact it could potentially have on the decisions made for their schools and the policies that could be implemented. So when it came to my literature review, I reviewed the history. This is something that's been around for many years, but the majority of the literature review was on socioeconomic background, gender, the parents' decisions, and kindergarten start age for each day. Those were the key components of previous studies. But there was no research relating to academic redshirting and its impact on early literacy development. So that led me to researching this topic. My method for research was, my design was a correlational research design that was used to evaluate two or more variables and to examine how the variables were correlated. And then, as stated earlier, my research question, is there a statistically significant difference between academically redshirted kindergartners and their non-academically redshirted peers in foundational literacy from the beginning of kindergarten to mid-year? And my null hypothesis was there is not a statistically significant difference between academically redshirted kindergartners and their non-academically redshirted peers in foundational literacy development from the beginning of kindergarten to mid-year. My participants and setting. The population, the school district is located in northwestern Alabama and is a rural school system with a total population of 8,057 students. The school has a population of 896 in pre-K through 6th grade, and there's a population of 113 students in kindergarten, and they are divided into 6 classes. My participants were selected using a random number generator. I had a total of 40 participants divided into 2 groups of 20. The setting for the study was Brooks Elementary School in Killen, Alabama. Instrumentation. My instrumentation was the START Early Literacy Assessment, which is a computer-administered standardized assessment that uses graphics, audio directions, and automatic transcriptions of directions and assessment questions. This allows the students to be able to test without the teacher's assistance, and the assessment is custom fit for the student, allowing questions to get more difficult or easy according to the way the students answer and their literacy level. The purpose of this assessment is to measure the student's performance of important reading skills through this brief reading assessment. And the test scores from the beginning of the year and middle of the year were used to analyze the difference between each group. My procedures. First, I gained permission from the superintendent, then from Brooks Elementary principal, as well as permission from IRB. Once I received permission, I was able to access scores, and I used the random sampling to provide the groups and divide those groups out evenly. Then I was able to analyze my data. My research results, according to the data and the t-test performed, there was a statistically significant difference between these two groups' scores on the early literacy assessment. Therefore, the null hypothesis was rejected. And in conclusion, when the data was analyzed, I did find that there was a statistically significant difference between the two groups' assessment scores, and I was able to reject the null hypothesis. Some implications. I personally felt like there would be a statistically significant difference in the scores of the students who were deemed to have late birthdays versus those who did not have late birthdays. And once I collected and analyzed the data, the study verified that there was a variation in these scores, and that provided proving that academically redshirted students can make a difference in students' academic achievement. The limitations were that it was a small group, size 40. If the study had been implemented with a larger sample group, the data could have produced even more extensive results. And another limitation was the sample group lacked diversity. So recommendations for future research, I recommend it be conducted with a larger participant size and a wider range of diversity of students. And here are my references. Thank you.